But are you dating?
I've dated, dated around, but
Sounds like too much work.
it's an interesting process after being married
For
for
so
so long.
long.
Watching this episode was interesting to say the least. It's nice to see how the OG3 are flourishing and they're glowing and they're happy and they're at peace. I love that. I really do. And seeing the interactions between Janelle and Meri and Janelle and Christine is day and night. We are made to believe that Christine and Janelle have the closest relationship. Okay, I give that to them. But at the end of the day, I feel like Meri is a better influence on Janelle than Christine because Meri is able to accept Janelle where she is and understand where she is and sort of encourage that. Whereas with Christine, because she is at peace and she's found the happiness with David and is married, is constantly pushing relationship down Janelle's throat. And I think this is why there's been a lot of tension, or it appears as though there's been tension. And then production is messy. For them to show Kody and Robyn's date versus Meri and Ron's date day and night, day and night, we're made to believe that Kody has found his one in Robyn. And yet, the more romantic and more interesting date where you can see that people are giddy, people are excited to be around one another, is Meri and Ron, who are not married. So, make that make sense? Anyway, hey there, it's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives Season 20, Episode 15. So obviously Kody has finished his apology tour. Janelle had gone for the, ceremony to be released from her spiritual marriage to Kody. And she was surprised that she walked in, they had the paperwork ready, and everything was over and done with. I think that the church doesn't want the backlash from the viewers of Sister Wives, and this is why they were very keen to have it over and done with. Janelle herself was surprised, and she said that she needed this, even though she didn't know that she needed it, because it actually gave her sort of a sense of okay, we're completely down. There's no links. There's nothing tying her down to Kody. So she's at peace and she's free to move on, which I really love for her. And Kody spoke about the fact that, he went on his apology tour. He apologized to all the OG3. He's happy that he and Meri were able to sort of reach an understanding of where they can be nice to one another. They can be cordial. They can be, understanding towards each other. And it's like, I really don't believe it. I really don't believe it. He said they ended in a great space. They did work to make sure that they weren't escalated. And so they are at peace. And it's like, Kody, you were escalating the whole situation. You wanted this thing on your terms. You didn't want to hear what Meri wanted. So don't make it seem like she contributed anything. You went there, you yapped, finished hearing your voice, and then ran away saying you needed the toilet. We have Robyn come out and she says, since the apology tour, Kody is a different man. If that's what you think, it is what it is, because they're saying, they struggled for the past 4 years with the constant breakups. And it's like the reason Kody broke up with his wife was because of Robyn. And so for you to make it seem like, it was something that happened out of the blue, or it was, the OG3, sorry's fault, is just ludicrous, in my opinion. We have Meri and Janelle meet up for a date. Well, it wasn't a date per se. Meri, I think this is after she had spoken to Kody. So you had Janelle coming from her release. She sat down with Meri. They initially discussed the marriage between Meri's brother and Janelle. And I'm happy this is being brought up because people make it seem like Meri out of the blue was just horrible to Janelle. Put yourself in Meri's position. Someone comes to your wedding as your sister-in-law, and then suddenly you're hearing that, now she's marrying your husband. Make that make sense? Irregardless of whether the marriage was a year, a day, a month, it still would sting. So I get why she felt some type of way. Janelle didn't see the problem with it, but I think for Meri it was a big deal. And it makes me question Kody in the sense that why would he go after Meri's sister-in-law? Why wouldn't he bring in a second wife, a total stranger, or even bring in Christine? Because I think had he brought in anyone else, they might not have had the issues that they had. But at the end of the day, they are here. They have to accept that, this is where they are. And Meri actually emphasizes that it was quite a struggle to transition from being sister-in-laws to sister wives. As much as people want to put a rib on it, it was difficult. So I get it. They spoke about Kody's tour, and I'm here for it, that everyone can see through it, that this was only about him. It had nothing to do with anyone else, bar Kody. So this is where they were. You have Kody and Robyn go on this, well, they had this motorbiking thing. They decided to go on quad bikes. They said they were going to go out for a ride because it's time for them to bond as a couple. This is something that they do, that they emotionally check in with one another. And it's like, so you want us to know that you and Robyn are constantly checking in to sustain your relationships, but you couldn't check in with the OG3, and yet you're surprised that they're saying bad things behind your back. Why are you pretending to be Delulu when you actually know that you isolated these ladies until they were ready to pack their bags and go? And then Meri is giddy. I love this for her. I can't wait for Janelle to find the same thing, because one thing I have to commend is, once the OG3 have left Kody, they've both moved on to be bigger and better things. Christine is happily married to a man who adores her and worships the ground she walks on. And so for Meri to find the same thing, oh my God, apparently they've been seeing each other with Ron for 6 months. I think Meri and Ron were seeing one another and were dating prior to him coming on the show and being told to participate as one of their speed daters, because of the way they're giddy, the way Meri couldn't even answer questions in the confessional, the way they're sort of making sure that they don't touch arms or shoulders when they're sort of walking beside one another or sitting next to one another. It's just like, okay, we'll pretend, let us go along. But it's nice to see this softer side of Meri, this happier side. I love it. I love it for her. Obviously, she spoke about, on the drive there, they spoke about the fact that they were both single, the fact that they, at this point are learning about themselves and are discovering new things about each other, about themselves actually. And so this is something that I loved about them as a couple. Kody and Robyn going on this quad bike date, for me, doesn't make sense outside of the fact that production wanted to play it alongside Meri's date. That's the impression that I get. That they heard that Meri had gone on a date with Ron and it had been filmed, and they decided they wanted to do their own thing. They spoke about the last incident on the quad bikes where Robyn fell off. And so Robyn was being extra cautious. Kody was trying to show off. Eventually, he fell off. For Robyn to exaggerate and say, oh, the quad bike, rolled over him, and it's like, madam, we've got eyes to see. Production are replaying it. It didn't roll over him. It landed on his leg, and he sort of brushed it off. But I wouldn't say that the quad bike ran over him. For her to be worried and be the doting wife and sort of, shoring with kisses and just checking in to make sure that he's okay. Okay, if that's what you want us to believe, we'll believe it for now. If that's what you want us to believe, we'll believe it for now. Apparently, he's a changed man since, he came from his apology tour. He's totally different, and she loves the man that he is. If you love it, we like it for you. Christine arranged a party for Janelle. Apparently, it was going to be a small thing. Janelle came with 2 of her friends and her sister. Christine was there with her mom and her sisters as well. And so they were apparently the majority of them are on their second marriages. They've divorced their first partners. And so they were celebrating Janelle and the fact that, she's moving on. She's at this space. They had tattoos for Janelle to sort of, fake tattoos for her to put on if she wanted. They had conversations, and everyone was just excited to be there. I think everyone is trying to open Janelle up. Is trying to make Janelle be aware that there's more to life than just, polygamy and Kody. Sadly, I wish they were more like Meri. I wish they were there to support Janelle wherever she is, and whatever she wants to do, they encourage that. Not for them to say, oh, we wanted to experiment, we wanted to try new things, we wanted to try something different. Yes, you want that for her, but does she want it for herself? I loved Meri and Ron's date. I thought it was interesting. They spoke about the fact that they're both divorced. They spoke about the fact that they're discovering new things about themselves, what they want in a relationship, what they want in a future partner. And it was really nice to see Meri at peace, to see Meri be with someone who just made her laugh. The way she was so giggly and giddy like a teenager. Ron apparently on the first date had asked if she was romantic, and she hadn't answered him. So she then went on to tell him that she was a romantic person. Meri is a romantic person. Meri is a romantic person. I think she's someone who loves to be pampered by her partner. Christine is a princess, but Meri is very romantic. She wants the Romeo and Juliet type of love. That's the impression that I get. And so it was cute to see her be there, be giddy, be excited, sort of go on this bike ride with Ron, and they were just, cycling. They did a lot of things. They did a bit of trekking, they did a bit of cycling, and then they went into the water, into the river or lake or whatever it was. So it was nice to see that she has someone who sort of matches her spiritual energy, someone who's not trying to be the center of attention. With Ron, he is just there like David in the background and is just making sure she's safe. So I loved that. Even their little cutesy ice cream date, I felt was amazing. I really liked that. And I really sort of wanted more for Meri. And you can see she's happy. In her confessionals, she's excited, she's giddy, she's happy, and she can't sort of believe that this is the space she's in, and I love it. For Kody to sit down with Robyn and decide to apologize to her, Kody, this has always been about him. Robyn is making it feel like Kody needed to apologize to all his OG wives so that he could move on and be in this better space so that we can flourish as a couple. No, I don't think so. They wanted a positive edit. They needed the positive edit, and this is why Robyn encouraged him to go out and sort of apologize to everybody else. Because when he came back and he tried to apologize to Robyn, she cut him off, and he said, "Why are you being so nice?" As in, why are you sort of? I think she didn't want him to say anything inappropriate. I think she wanted to be the bigger person, and this is the problem with Kody and Robyn, because they're always trying to upstage one another, and because they're constantly trying to upstage one another, this is why they have that sort of funny, awkward relationship that they have that they think is happiness, but I don't buy it. Kody said, the OG wives were brutal to him, but he apologized to them, and yet he didn't apologize to the person that's been supportive to him throughout all this. Robyn was supportive because she wanted monogamy, and she didn't know how to get it with the men that she liked until they got to Flagstaff. And so once they got to Flagstaff, she enjoyed that with Kody, and she made sure that he left the OG3. The OG3 are in a better space because of that, and I'm happy for them, because at the end of the day, they didn't deserve to go through what they went through with Kody. So I'm happy they're at peace. You had Janelle go step out for a chat with Christine. This is the difference in chats, in the sense that Christine has ideas of what she wants Janelle's life to be, and this is where she's trying to push Janelle, whereas Meri is waiting to hear what Janelle wants to do, because you could tell they were having silent conversations with Meri when they sat down, Janelle and Meri, whereas with Christine, she was sort of, what happened with Meri? What did you say? And it's like, I think she expected Janelle to badmouth Meri, and so for Meri not to badmouth for Janelle not to badmouth Meri is something that Christine wasn't expecting and was sort of taken aback, because I think with Christine, if you're friends with her, she wants you to have issues with the people that she has issues with. That's my opinion from just watching the few minutes that I've watched, or from watching her on TV, especially after the divorce. It seems like if she doesn't get along with someone, she wants everybody else around her not to get along with that person, and she can't understand why they would continue to get along, because I don't think she expected Meri and Janelle to be so cordial with one another, given the fact that she said she didn't want anything to do with Meri. And so I think for her, it's now a time of her questioning, so where does that put my relationship with Janelle? That's the impression that I get. Janelle spoke about the fact that she expected Kody to speak about the children. I think this is something she discussed with Meri, in the sense that they all expected him to speak about the children, but he never did. So they're sort of questioning whether he didn't speak about the children because he was trying to make amends with the wives so that they can help him make amends with his children. Do I think so? No, I think his children see through his crap more than the OG3 do. So I can't wait to see what happens there. Meri and Ron sort of sitting by the river and just having a chat. Meri and Ron are dating, seriously dating. I think they're trying to sort of be very discreet about their relationship, because they don't want the backlash, or they don't want to fall out and then have to explain to the whole world why they didn't work out. This is why they said they wanted a friendship first before they could do anything. Meri was saying she's very happy, she's very excited. She was giggly and giddy. She was like a teenager, and it sort of looked really cute because Ron could see how excited she was, and he was trying to contain his excitement while sort of not sort of dimming down her excitement. So I love this for them. Apparently we have the tell-all next week, so I can't wait to see that mess. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 14. Bye everyone.